Bonjour, everyone. Hi, I'm Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Nations Organization's main fan page and to the live stream show, Communications from Home. And I'm your host, Neshi Lokotz. Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday night, August 14th, 2018. Yeah, it is a beautiful evening here in Toma. It's a bit muggy. You know, we were supposed to get thunderstorms today. They didn't show up. We could certainly use the rain. Certainly can. So I'm hoping everybody is doing fine this evening. And for those who don't know me, there's always a possibility, right? I know. So it is an evening, an hour about Star Nations Magazine. Star Nations Magazine is one aspect of Star Nations Organization LLC. It's the magazine. It is the radio network, now live stream shows here on Facebook. It is the academy, and it is also the publishing end of Star Nations. And keeps me busy. Keeps me out of trouble, as they say. It's good to be with you guys tonight. We're right in smack dab in the middle of August. The time just flies by. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I certainly have. The last, really, I was thinking, gee, what happened to February, March, April, May, June, July? But I have to say that we had company here today. We had a nurse here. It's a quarterly visit from my mom. And even the nurse was saying that she felt like it was a really long summer because we were having warm weather since early May. Yeah. So she was saying that too. Although then we sat and reminisced about the last snowstorm. I think that happened maybe in the beginning of April, something like that. So anyway, no complaints though, because you know what happens here in Wisconsin in less than 6 months, we could have 30 degrees below zero with the wind chill factor. That is the truth. And so I am going to be asking, those who watch our shows quite often, and we thank you for that. You know the drill, right? We have this thing with Facebook that's called a relationship. And we know for sure that Facebook really, really enjoys it when we share, comment, and like, especially a live stream broadcast. And it helps us to find more people who are looking for the information that we're sharing on spirituality, right? So if you wouldn't mind liking and also sharing the broadcast, the show, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to do the same thing. I feel like I do that a lot lately, where I'm going to like it and I'm going to share it. I'm sharing it to my personal timeline. And I do a lot of public posts from my timeline. So I'm just going to say, hey, friends. Hey, Oka came up. That's interesting. Hey, friends, I'm live streaming. Yeah, I'm going to say, join me. There we go. We're going to post that one. And I think everything was spelled right. And then I'm going to also post to the Star Nations Radio Network closed group here at Yeah, that's it. I thought I tapped on the wrong one. That's where a lot of our Star Nations community members hang out, right, is within that group. And we share all kinds of stuff there. Also at the Academy's closed group, there we share more things along classes and information from classes that we've either taught or have attended, that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to say, hey, peeps. That's what I call you guys, peeps, because you're my peeps. I'm live streaming. Oops, there we go. And please join me. There we go. and then we're going to post that. I'm so glad they went smooth. A lot of times I misspell words, not because I don't know how to spell, but because of those darn little keys on the phone. That's what happens. Hey, hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás, Rob? ¿Cómo estás? Hey, and Rochelle's here too. Gotta do. Hey, now that I'm using our partners at Be Live TV. It's a third-party app that we use for our live stream shows here at on the Facebook live stream shows at Star Nations Radio Network. That's a mouthful. But you know what we like about them is that we can do stuff like this. We can put our audience's comments up there. And hello, Rochelle. It's good to see you in the house. Am I going to be discussing whales? Somewhat. I'm not going to get into the whales themselves. I'm going to be talking about the contributing writers who wrote about the whales. That's what this show is. And Rochelle saying she just did, sharing and liking. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Rob says, this is where I say I'm going to love and share because that's how I roll. Exactly. We know how you roll because we look like marshmallow ducks. Muy bien. Bien. That's good. That's good, Rob. I'm glad you're doing well. Doing good. So I have to tell you that this particular issue, a Star Nations magazine, it's the 63rd issue that we've done. And I took a little time to take a walk through memory lane. There's a page that I work from with our partners at Magcast, and it shows all of our covers of all the magazines that we've done. And so I took a look, and I know I'm partial, but I think we have some really pretty covers. Some of them are downright gorgeous. And I had this idea, and I'm not going to do anything about it until after Mercury goes direct on the 19th of this month. But I had this idea is that I'm going to maybe group them in smaller numbers, maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 different groupings, and share the covers with you guys. And if you could help me vote on which is your favorite cover, because our 5-year anniversary is coming up in October. And I thought, wow, maybe what we could do is take the top, I don't know, 3 to 5 covers and for our anniversary and share those somehow. But that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And, and also me thinking about how this all got started way back when, in the Wayback Machine. It was 2012. I was sitting in my dining room, and Mom had just moved in with us, and she was getting used to her new living quarters and her new home. And I was working on Star Nations Radio Network stuff. And I was also looking at my own business at the time was Sacred Hoop, and looking at how if I wanted to continue blogging, if I was going to continue blogging, how was I going to do this? And I'd been blogging since 2000 or 2001, something like that. And so, it gets kind of old, right? So it's how do you spruce it up? How do you put some new energy into it? And a friend of mine, Tammy Gullen, who now lives in Colorado, Amy says, that sounds like a fun idea. Yeah, it does, with the covers, doesn't it? I think so. It's just going to take a little time to do the grouping. I think I can get our partners at Elf Elm to help me with that, to get them kind of grouped together. Anyway, I was scrolling through my email, and Tammy had sent me an email about, it was an online course, free. It was like an introduction kind of thing, right? And so anyway, I clicked on it because I know Tammy, and Tammy had also was going to go, or had thought about going, or something like that. And Anyway, I listened to it. It was like maybe 20, 30 minutes long or so. And it was about this new way of blogging, new way of even vlogging. And it was about a magazine. Is taking, because the publishing world at that time was kind of really in chaos. There were a lot of bookstores closing because it was hard for them to stay afloat financially. But even more than that, ebooks were really starting to take hold. Okay. And so I was looking at this, and I went to the Magcast website, and I was, visiting their website, checking it out. And as soon as I opened up their own magazine, their digital magazine, I knew it. It was one of those thunderbolt moments, where I could feel it in my heart. I could feel it in my solar plexus. I knew that this was the vehicle to ride in. I just didn't know if I was going to use it for Sacred Hoop, if I was going to use it for Star Nations. And I made the decision at the dining room table that morning that it was going to be about Star Nations. And so that's how it got started. And signed up for it, paid our money for it, for the license, and that's basically how we got started with the magazine. And from the very beginning, learning about the digital world and learning about how to put together a digital magazine. And I was doing that through PowerPoint at the time. And I look at those early magazines, and they're okay. I'm still proud of them and all that. But I look at them and look at the issues that we have now. And the issues that we have now are just so, they're so well put together. What I love about it is that the contributing writers, bless their souls, right? Bless their hearts, as they say in Ireland, bless their hearts, is that they provide articles that come from their hearts, their experiences, their wisdom. And their articles come to me, and if they don't have pictures to go with them already, I'll search for a picture to go with them, those articles. And so we have these raw material for each of the sections, right? And I prep all of the articles. I have since October of 2012. No, actually, it was even before that. That would have been August, September of 2012, because I had to build the app. That was the first time I had ever built an app. I don't know if I'll ever do another one because it was very stressful for me. But anyway, we did it. And and so we take these raw materials now, and with our partners at Elf Elm, who happen to be my niece and my sister-in-law, Paul's older sister. And Paul's older sister she has been using Adobe InDesign for 20 plus years. It's like her second language. And so anyway, they do the layout, and they have the experience to really polish it, and make it shine. And I call them the elves, and that they have elven magic. I have elven magic. Hey, Cindy Lynn's in the house. Good evening, Cindy Lynn. I almost said good morning, because usually we see each other in the morning, don't we? So the part that there's so many parts to the magazine that I really do love. I just love the process, because it fits how I like to do projects, because there's a distinct beginning. And for me, there's a lot of creative adrenaline flow. It's a rush when we start a new issue. And actually, there's an overlap It's almost kind of like the Vesica Pisces. For those that are listening to the Sacred Geometry live streams in the morning. It's kind of like the Vesica Pisces. The previous issue, like the July issue, hasn't even been published yet. We're fine tuning it, getting it ready to be published. Those last probably 6 days or so, 5 days, and I have to start the next issue. And so that is sending out an email to the contributing writers, prepping them for the next month, right? And so the two issues, the one that is almost ready to publish and the brand new one that we're preparing to, they kind of overlap and they create that Vesica Pisces, that in between where that spark of light is, right? And for me, that is the adrenaline rush. It's like we're starting something brand new and we're just finishing up something that we've been working on for a long time, for at least 3 or 4 weeks, right? So it fits me, and I enjoy it. I enjoy that piece. I enjoy working with the contributing writers and watching, being witness to how they pull their articles together and literally share their hearts with you. Yeah, literally. So this month, August, this is, let's see, I want to show you the cover. Many of you have already seen it already. This is the cover of the August 2018 issue 63. And every month we have a list of topics, and each of the contributing writers select from those topics what their article is going to be about. And this month, it most of the contributing writers had something to say about whales, and we haven't had a whale on the cover of the magazine yet. And so I went out and I was searching photos and looking at other magazines that might have whales on the picture, right? And the thing is that whales are really beautiful creatures, right? And they're huge, but getting a really good, sharp image of them is really a challenge. Depending on what kind of whale it is, the darker gray ones, they kind of blend in with the water and with the sky, depending on if the sky is kind of cloudy, right? And so here I was trying to find this really great image that's really going to catch our eye. And I had found a couple of them, but they just didn't sing to me, if you know what I mean. And this is the image that I found that felt like it jumped off the photo when I looked at it. And it comes from the upper Northwest, and it is an ancient way of and it's a sample, not a sample. It's a drawing, and many of the Northwest indigenous people actually do carvings using an image very, very similar, and even the colors have deep meaning for the indigenous people up in the Northwest. And so I saw this and I thought, this catches your eye and it wants you to know more. And I'm so glad, because we have contributing writers who shared their experience with whales. And I'm going to share a couple of those, because what I like to do is share with you those articles that their titles appear on the cover page, right? Yeah. And if you've noticed, every month I share with you a picture from each of the articles and a short description, like a short paragraph description of what the article is about. And so you'll be able to see what image represents each of the articles every month, actually. So Rochelle says, you did a good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have to say, it is fun. I find a lot of joy in doing the image, finding the image for the cover. Because actually, I call on my spiritual team. I call on them to ask for their help. Bring the images to me that are meant to be on this cover. And I've done that since the beginning. And I have to say that in the beginning, I used to have like 5 or 6, sometimes 7 different images that could possibly make the cover. And then I would do a voting. Just about everybody I knew, family, non-family, it's like, what do you think of this for a cover? Choose your top 2. You don't have to tell me why, just choose your top 2. And then the one that had the most top 2, that was what appeared on the cover. And as time moved forward and we were gaining more experience with the magazine, and also the spirit of the magazine started to emerge more and more, and to the point where a lot of times I only had one image. No matter how hard I looked, there wasn't another one that would jump out, right? And so sometimes there's two, but generally these days we only have one. And this one happened to be it this month for August. So I'm going to share with you a bit about the articles that appear on the cover. So the first one up is an article by Mervyn Kelly. Let me give it a solo so you can look at it. It's the title is Working with Crystal Grids. With crystal grids. This is the picture is one of Mervyn's own pictures with a grid that he created. And the reason, and this is a featured article. I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in, it must have been November, December, something like that. I think it was November. I had contacted the members in the Star Nations Radio Network closed group and posed the question about what kind of articles and topics would you like to see covered in either the magazine or on radio shows, on live streams. And crystal grids and crystals in general was one of the topics that you all wanted to know more about. And so who better to ask than one of our own live stream show hosts who knows a heck of a lot about stones and crystals from a druid point of view, right? Right. And so I asked Mervyn Kelly if he would, if he could find it in his some time in his life and in some energy work to pull together a featured article, basic information from his point of view about why we use grids, how to use a grid, that kind of stuff. And so this is part 1. He'll finish up next month in part 2 of working with crystal grids. And I have to say, when I get to read every article probably at least 4 times, sometimes more. And so when the first time I went through Mervyn's article, I thought, wow, and I think some of this information actually might be appearing in his recently published book, self-published book, that he co-wrote with Tracy Civic. And so it'll be interesting. But anyway, this is his first featured article for Star Nations, and I look forward to many more from Mervyn. I think you guys are going to like it. He really gives us a good foundation for stones and crystals in grid work. And I like one of the questions that he asked. He says, how can we use crystal grids? And he says, anything, literally anything. No matter what you need assistance with, you can create a grid to help you, is what he says. For instance, grids are used for healing, protection, or distance work. Mervyn shares his knowledge and expertise in his premier featured article with us. Yeah, I think you guys are going to like it. And some people have already read it because, we published on Friday, August 10th, and there's some people. Yeah. I love it when people in the chat room when they're chatting up a storm between the two of them, several of them. I think that's fun. Yeah, part of our community here, right? All right, so the next article. Yay for Karen Jardine. Karen wrote an article under her column, which is Earth Energies, entitled Energetic Adventures at Sacred Sites. And I'm so glad that Karen said yes to becoming a contributing writer for us, because she has such an interesting background. Most people, I interviewed her at least twice. And in that interview, I think it was the second one, is where she shared that she had been in the Air Force, that she was a pilot, and that when she got out of her military duty, she became an airline pilot, a commercial airline pilot. And you're like, wow. So these days, though, and it's all about sacred geometry and earth energies for her. And she teaches about it a lot. And how she even got interested in this, she said that it was flying over land masses and seeing how the energies change the topography, whether it's water or wind, and then flying over sacred sites and what they look like from the air. And so she brings with her a great deal of, I think she's also an architect, if I remember right. I think she's also an architect. And so Rob is saying, what if I need help making a crystal grid? Did you contact Mervyn? Contact Mervyn. I'm sure he'd walk you through it. And he's going to be in the States. You're going to be at his class, aren't you, Rob? I don't know the date on that. What is the date on that class, Rob? I know it's in Michigan, but I don't know the date. I know I talked to Mervyn today. We did some messaging back and forth, and and I know that he's going to he is going to keep his travel plans, because his mom was feeling kind of poorly, and had her to the doctor, and to the point where Mervyn is going to keep his travel plan, so he is coming. And prayers for him and for his mom. Oh, it's this Saturday. See, heck, you can ask him in person. You could see, you can look right in his eyes and ask him that, Rob. So back to Karen's article. Karen's article, she says that she looks for specific locations for her energetic adventures to sacred sites. She goes where earth energies are present. These earth energies can be anything from a single subterranean water vein or fault, or multiple crossings of water veins and faults. She says this is how the magic occurs, and the energy of the place transforms into healing energies. And so, when we are drawn to a sacred site, there's reasons why. There's reasons why we have certain ones on our to-do list, our bucket list, right? And for instance, I am feeling that pull to the land of Eru and the land of Ayr, which is Ireland, to go visit Danu again. And we're doing a show on Thursday night about this. But where I want to go this time around is back to County Sligo to do the hike up to Maeve's Cairn. And it's quite a hike. I'm going to have to get some practice in, get some exercise in. And but this is what Karen's writing about, that there's certain sacred sites that we're drawn to. And there's a reason for that, she says. And she writes about that in her article. So I hope you enjoy it. When you read it, I hope you enjoy it because it's also very educational. She's sharing her experience with us, but it's also very educational. Yeah. Hey, Rochelle's going too. The whole gang is going to be there, huh? That's good. All right. So the next up is Nature Adventures with Minnie Kansman. Minnie's the title of Minnie's article is Nature Adventures, and it is her premiere article in her new column, Nature Adventures. And one of the things that Minnie has kept with her new column is the gorgeous pictures that she includes. And she takes, I would say, 99.8% of all the photos that you see in her articles. There's occasionally she might need a supporting picture from like WikiLeaks or from another photographer. She's also done that too. But they're gorgeous pictures. And she shares with us about literally her adventures in nature. And Minnie has many of those. And if you know Minnie, you know that we're in for quite a good story that she tells with her adventures. Yeah. And so this is what she says about her article. She says that she is pleased to have her brand new column to appear in Star Nations, and we are very proud to have her with us. She shares her love of travel to sacred sites, passion for nature photography, and sharing of future travel adventures. She shares her trips to the Apennines Mountains of Italy in this first article. And let me tell you, green, 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 that's the color of her pictures. Gorgeous stuff. And there again, she is taking us to sacred sites most of the time in her adventures. And so we're gonna be talking about a couple of those on Thursday night. Yes, we are. All right. And so the next article, oh my gosh. Okay, here's a whale article. I loved this article by Leslie Serenesi. Leslie Serenesi is an animal communicator, and she's been writing for us for quite some time now. I think we're on third year, maybe. Could be 4. And the title of her column is Communicating with Sacred Animals. And she shares with us every month one of her experiences. Some of them all are hilarious, and others will make you cry because it touches your soul, right? And in the title of her article is Whales, the Keepers of History. She had to make a decision of she was going to connect with a whale that is in captivity or a whale that is in the wild. And she felt drawn to, nudged to do the communication with a whale in the wild. Problem is that she hadn't been near one in quite some time. And then she remembered her trip to Alaska and seen the whales there. And so what she did is she got a picture of a whale, and she sat and connected with the wild whale in present time. And that conversation that she shares with us is not just an eye-opener, but it is a very poignant conversation. And here's what she says about that. She says, the question is, have you ever had a conversation with a wild whale? Well, she has. And she shares her communication with us. This heart-filled conversation verifies our human connection to the whales. If you love whales, you'll want to read about Leslie's experience and what that female whale shared with Leslie and what she shared about us humans. Yeah. It's the first time I read through it, I had to get the Kleenex out. Because of what the whale had shared with us, and actually doing a little myth busting, because Leslie was asking her about some of the stereotypes that us humans perpetuate about whales. Yeah. So it's a really good article. Rochelle is saying, have you heard about the mama whale who carried her baby for 17 days before releasing her baby? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Cried with her too. The kind of grief. And, how can anybody say that they don't have feelings and they don't have souls, right? Yeah, Rob is saying, I'm reminded of Richard Pryor talking about the difference between seeing a lion in the zoo and in the wild. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that was one of the reasons why Leslie listened to the guidance to connect with the whale in the wild. It would have been easy for her to go to a zoo to do the connection, but she didn't. She didn't. She took that next step past that. Hey, Margaret's in the house. Hi, Margaret. It's good to see you. Glad you're here with us. And so, yeah, Leslie's article. If you have a thing about whales, you'll want to read it. If you are a lover of all animals, all of our relatives, you'll want to read this one too. It really touches you. Okay. Now, let's see. I want to make sure. Hey, I'm missing one. Rats. Actually, I'm missing two. Darn. All right. This is what I get for when I'm trying to upload pictures and do something else at the same time. so much for multitasking. All right. So the next one is actually by Nicole Fix. And Nicole Fix, in her article, Leaving Footprints. It's about legacy and our descendants. She asks the questions about when we leave our footprints here on Earth, what are we leaving for our children? What are we leaving for the next generations? And she also takes a look back to our ancestors and what they left for us, in so many ways. And most of it isn't tangible, isn't something that you can actually, a physical something you can hold on to, right? Although, by definition, a legacy can be anything from land to jewelry to just about anything. But what Nicole focuses on is the intangible and what we leave for our children. And so she talks about the emotional healing that we do is actually helping our descendants. It's part of our legacy to break the cycles of all kinds, right? That is a legacy to our children and to our grandchildren and our children's children, kind of thing. Her article was another one that I had to sit and kind of ponder with and realize that this is a very deep and deep connecting article. And so if you are someone who is on the healing path, which most of us are, you might find some solace and also validation in Nicole's article that you're on the right path and for the right reasons. Yep. Rochelle. If I had to come back, not as a human, I want to come back as an orca. Well, good. You'd be one of the history keepers. You'd be a history keeper. You'd swim very well, too. And the other article that is on is this is a good one. Many of you were part of this in the audience, right? I included Carl Franklin's recent The Mystery School live stream show from last month. We called it The Adventure of Spiritual Freedom, because that particular live stream had a lot of people having aha moments, right? And so the description for the article, it says, how do we free ourselves from beliefs that no longer support our spiritual growth? Many religious beliefs inhibit our healing and our growth. In a recent live stream show, The Mystery School, we chatted about discovering how to become a spiritual being. And we include the recorded show as part of Carl's article. And the reason why we did that is because Ortrun, she had surgery and she's doing quite well in her recovery, convalescence. But, she just needs some time off. And so Carl and I said, we can do this. And so we had that show together. And it is an adventure. It is an adventure when we are seeking out our spiritual freedom. We have many experiences along the way. And so that's what we shared about. Yeah, it's a good one. If you didn't see that live stream show, you can get it through the magazine, or you can even look at it, watch it here on Facebook. And you just have to go to the Mystery School fan page, and the recorded show is there. Yeah. Why are we talking about this, Rob? When I die, I want my ashes to be spread in the rings of Saturn. Okay, is that a song? It sounds like it could be. Lyrics to a song? So let me show you the cover one more time here. I gotta find it. Sort through. Here we go. Yeah, this is a good one. And I have to tell you that this particular issue came together, I would say, relatively easy and smoothly. Although there were things that were going on around it, like, for instance, my husband, Paul, having pneumonia and dealing with that for about 5 days. And there's always the mom stuff that's involved in there too. That's typical. That's a normal thing. But we also included, started out a brand new final draft editor. And so this is her very first issue that she helped edit, and that's Elise Miller. And so she was helping with that. And so, with that, until she kind of, this is her very first one, and being right there with her through the whole thing, right? And eventually she'll tell me that I got this. They all do, which is good. When they say I don't need you right now, which is good. I look forward to that piece. It's not a song. That's really what you want done. Oh, okay. So, how are we going to get that done? Who's going to Saturn for Rob? How are you going to get that done, Rob? Got any ideas? Get instructions for us? Yeah. Like a whole show in itself, isn't it? What you have planned? What do you have planned? Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that in September. How's that? We'll talk about that one. I'm still looking for somebody to do the tattoo artistry and power animals. I have a line on one person that maybe that's going to be done. Call NASA. Call NASA. If they're still around. You have a few good years left, Rob. Or should I say several? So anyway, with all of this, how do you get the magazine, right? And actually, it comes in a couple of different versions, several versions actually, because we realize that everybody doesn't like reading it the same way. We have those people who just love the digital magazine, love it. They use their smartphones, they use their tablets, right? And so it's available for Apple and Android for their mobile devices. But we also offer it through our partners at Mag Cloud in print on demand, because some people still like to hold them, right? Feel them, get the texture and the actual thing in their hand, much like books. And then we have the PDF version. And the PDF version, people like it because they can read the magazine on any laptop, computer, iPhone, tablet. You can read it on any one of your devices. It doesn't matter. The only thing is that the embedded videos and audios are links, and so that you have to click the link to be able to get to those, right? They're not the actual video. It'll take you out to the video. And the other way is the web viewer. Now, there's some people that really don't even want to download it to be on their hard drive, and they do that with almost a lot of things, right? So a lot of their things are kept in the cloud, and so we cover that too. And the web viewer, you can use that on any one of your devices, as long as you have an iCloud account or, a cloud account. you can get that and read it on any one of your devices. So I'm going to get the link for you. Just have to get to, where are my notes? Nope, that's not it. I need my notes. Here we go. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the Star Nations website address, the link, and it's got all the information right there. And all you have to do is click on it, and it'll take you to the website. And then from the website, we have short links to Apple and Android and MagCloud. Hey, that didn't work. It's still Mercury retrograde, right? Yep, it's still Mercury retrograde. I had something else on my clipboard. There we go. There's the link, and I'll take you to Star Nations Organization and website, and right directly to the magazine page. Yep, there you go. Yeah, they're still talking about what happens, what they want done, and when they're gone, when they've crossed over. All right, so I'm just going to read this. So the last thing that Rob said, call NASA. Cindy Lynn is, can we use a bottle rocket or one of those make-at-home rocket kits? God. Rob is saying, the idea crossed my mind back in the 90s. It was a game of one-upmanship with my brother. Beer may or may not have been involved. Well, it probably was involved. I do too, Cindy. Cindy says she likes the tree pod idea. I do too. Yeah, there's different ways, right? Different ways. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me this evening for a look at the August issue and the backstories on how this issue came together, and those articles appearing on the front cover. So watch for the different promotions that I'm going to be doing all month long for each one of the articles that is in the magazine. And you'll get to see the beautiful images that go with that, and just a short description in the text. And you'll get to see those, all right? All right. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. We're going to be doing the live stream in the morning here at the main fan page for the card draw. We do that at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern. And then tomorrow night is Polly Jo LeBay. She's doing Soul Connections at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you are a healer of any kind, an energy worker of any kind, and have not taken the time to do self-care, Wednesday night is set up for us to do that. And Polly Jo helps us by setting a sacred space, and helps our spiritual teams to work with us in releasing and healing what needs to be done. So I'm going to be there. I'll see you in the chat, and we'll chat it up tomorrow night. Okay. All right. Oh, and Thursday night. Don't forget Thursday night. That is with Nature Adventures with both Minnie and I, Minnie Kansman and I, co-hosting, and we're going to be talking about Ireland. The times that we've been there and we've participated in ceremony or held ceremony. So join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. All right. All right. And Rochelle is saying, have a great night. Thank you. Thank you so much. You too, Rochelle. And we'll see you next week on Communications from Home. Have a good evening, everybody. Bama Mina. Until we see each other again.